character
terrible.
Ulra, the amount of shit I have to know for this character is just not fair.
You expect
I had
me
to know
what
like
I'm
2
doing?
things before, and now I need to know like 7. So difficult. Make Rangers cool again. Make Rangers cool again.
I believe in you.
I don't. Okay, are we good? Are we going? Okay, it was 9 minutes.
go, Declan. You're live.
Oh, okay, great.
You're live.
Oh, okay.
You're live.
Never getting that. And we're live.
Just
Until
call
I'm
it
actually the one pushing the button that says "Go Live" button. We'll never get that right. You are very, very welcome along this evening to the latest D8 Dungeon story, Saving Grace, a gothic horror tale about revenge, heartache, and redemption? Question mark.
Okay.
I am Declan, your dungeon master, and I am joined a gemstone necklace, repeating the events that led to their separation over and over and over again for eternity. It says healthy relationship, like punishing your ex to internal damage. Saving Grace is, and we're going to preface this with a little bit of a warning. It is a little different to the other content you might have heard from us here at D8 Dungeon. It will delve into horror, supernatural, and generally icky vibes. So if you don't like particularly gory descriptions, or you find kind of horror uneasy or a little too unnerving or even triggering, just please be aware that we're going for a darker approach to this. It's still set in the world of the Romancing the Dungeon stuff. We're following in the same region known as Galeshire, but to the southeast, on a mountain range known as the Giant's Fingers. Our adventure takes place at mines, at a mining camp run by the Blood and Oil Vultures Mining Company, where, having fled Tezrab City, Grace has undertaken work as started as a guard, only to find herself in a position where she's now a miner in one of the 6 open and running shafts here at the caves. Before we kind of jump into our story and we start to figure things out for poor Grace, why don't we go around and introduce everybody? So, Amber?
So I am playing Sueris. He is a little magpie Aarakocra paladin of Finn, the whale god of death. Yeah, that's him.
Cool.
Wholesome.
Eilish? Very cool.
I am playing Six. She is a druid slash artificer, and yeah, she's gonna be pretty weird. You have been warned.
And Fiona?
I'm going to play Eludia Cinderell. She is a drow half-elf ranger. My goal with this stream is to make rangers cool again, but we'll see if that works. She's also a bit of a freak, so
But
I'm
a
looking
cool
forward
one.
to playing her. The cool freak, yeah. 6 is the weird freak. I'm the
Rude.
cool one. Yeah.
And Tendai?
I'm Tendai, and I'll be playing Grace, who will be quite unhinged, very petty, and very bitter.
Just how I like him. And you might recognize Amber from Romancing the Dungeon, as well as Eilish, and then Eilish from Rise of the Forsaken, alongside Fiona. Other adventures that we run here at D8 Dungeon, but Tendai, this is your first foray into all the things that we try to do here. I won't say do here. We try to do them here at D8 Dungeon.
It is.
So thank you so much for agreeing to come along and to bring life to Grace Stormfield, because right at the very, very start, you were particularly influential and supportive about developing her as a character in season 1. So it's kind of class to see you just take her and make her entirely your own. Like, I'm really excited to see where you bring her, and I'm really excited to see all the horrible, terrible things that I'm going to do. Yeah. Okay. Everybody good? Everybody ready? Stream
No,
stuff?
I'm not ready.
Terrified.
Okay. All good in chat? Are we any technical issues? We're good? Everything's
I
good?
think
We're
the
good.
technical issues are sorted.
Okay, deadly. Okay, so our story begins at the Blood and Oil Vultures Mining Company, a camp known only to those in the know as the Coop, a ramshackle base of operations deep, super deep into the frozen wastelands of the Giant's Fingers mountain range. Deep at the south. I keep saying deep. Deep is my word of the day, apparently. At the southeast region of of Galeshire. For such a desolate, cold place, the four of you are, well, whether you arise or open your eyes or not, but the morning is broken with a radiant sun. It's one of those mornings where even though the sun is shining and it just sort of beams across, kind of throwing shadows of the mountain ranges in the distance along the camp and beyond, you can't help but pull the covers up. The cold is the one familiar thing, and the one thing about the Coop and the mines that you can never escape. It is cutting, it is sharp, and it is painful. Your nose, your fingertips, your toes, talons, beak are all they're all cut by it. They're all every inhalation of this air, it feels like it burns in the lungs. It means one of two things. It means you survived the night, and it means that it's going to be another miserable day at the Coop. Eludia and Six, before Garjok, the foreman for the mining company, bellows his first crow of the morning, the two of you are already up and out of your bunk. 2 nights ago, the mining group that you were with, a guard was killed, and one of the miners came in contact with a toxic fungi. Your group has effectively been disbanded, and ye are now joining a new group of miners and a guard to go below. You're still going to be paid. You're still going to have work to do. You still have responsibilities around the camp and down the mines. But for now, before everybody else gets out of their cots and gets ready for the day and gets ready for another shift down the mines, the two of you have only one thing at the forefront of yours: the first good gloop of porridge in the morning.
Before it gets to crust.
Thanks,
No, the
Eilish.
crust is the
Yum.
good part. The crust is the good part. The rest of it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, sorry.
The crust
Before
is
it
where the
loses the
nutrition
crust.
is. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, the nutrition all just rises and burns at the top. You have to imbibe the rest of it.
Yum, yum.
Sneaking out of your, and I'm not going to make you roll, because normally when you say the word sneak or stealthily, you roll stealth, but I'll give you this one for free. It's the only one you're getting for free.
So
Okay.
generous.
I'm basically amazing. The two of you slink from your cots out of the. You haven't even had the opportunity to introduce yourselves to your bunkmates and your new group, but slinking out of your quarters across the camp and courtyard. In front of you, you see the mess hall and kitchen and the thick grey pillar of smoke that just bubbles and spits up into the clear blue sky overhead. It, to both of you, and Eludia, you first, the sun is a little bit, you're still not used to constant sunlight, and it's a little, just a little much every morning, and you're kind of always grateful for those mornings where it's overcast or snowy and dark. Uh, and as you kind of shade your eyes, uh, give me a perception check.
Oh, I'm so excited. The first roll.
First roll.
Rolling with my gemstone dice, definitely going to fall on the floor. They're really loud. I'm so sorry.
No.
That is a 7, so that's a great start.
Off to a good start.
You stare directly at the sun. Yeah, it's more just you're fixed on the mess hall, and you're fixed. Kind of just you can feel the kind of the hunger pains in your belly. The first day after you emerged from Bannon, the cave where the you can't remember his name, Eldo, Argel, something along those lines. He was definitely a man, but beyond that, you don't really care. You did want to take a look at the wound because apparently he looked really messed up. But you were escorted, and the first 24 hours directly afterwards, you and Six were sitting in solitary confinement / quarantine. Brother Reeves, the Wood Elf healer at the camp, insisted that the two of you, just for now, take at least 24 hours to isolate, so that in case you came in contact with spores, that your symptoms wouldn't pass to others at the camp. Thankfully, that passed largely, though occasionally Six would just cough really violently and really loudly. At the first time, it was kind of funny, and the 7th time, it was just really annoying. You make your way to the mess hall with Six just one step behind you. Six is always one step behind you. You step foot inside, you don't see anybody. Like the tables are empty. You have both made it to the top of the queue, top of the line. There is nobody here for breakfast.
Is the chef there? The chef, like we're in a restaurant.
Is that what we're calling? Garçon.
Yeah, the chef is definitely there. Both of you give me perception checks.
Oh, frig.
Oh, maybe this one will be better. Nope, exact same roll. That's another 7.
Are they waiting time?
Badly.
10.
Both average. Myself slightly below.
Ludia, again, it's more just that you could now it's an audible in your stomach, but it's actually a painful one. It's that like the first bite is going to be sore. You know it's going to be. You're desperate for a bite to eat. Garjok forgot to feed you and Six on the first day, and by the time you were let out of quarantine afterwards, it was too late to get anything from Gladys in the mess hall. Six, you pick up on the aroma of breakfast, and surprise, it's the Gladys special. It's the same special that you get at lunch and the same special you get at evening. Generally, towards the end of the month, when rations are at their lowest, she tends to just whack out kind of the leftovers. And for Gladys, that is usually blood sausage, curdled gravy, and oats.
For breakfast.
Yes.
Delicious.
And both of, sorry, Six, you in particular, you can smell the milk curds burning. There's a particular, it's that disgusting kind of weird, it's worse than burnt milk. It's like burnt milk and kind of copper with kind of a rancid aftertaste or after smell to it rather. And you feel the hunger pains rise and then kind of wither. out of the corner of your eye, you can just kind of half see Gladys, an elbow occasionally, and then there's just the continuous, repetitive, almost rhythmic thwack, and you can just see a cleaver going up out over the frame, door frame, and then straight down. She's doing something in there, but it's not paying attention to what's burning or boiling or both.
I'm gonna turn to Eludia and just say, do you think she needs help? Question mark.
Eludia would have taken out her dagger, and she's just like checking herself out in the reflection and fixing her hair. Six, do you think maybe you should go and maybe see what she has? Something nice, better than the usual fare would be appreciated. Off you go.
So she's gonna walk into the kitchen and just be
What?
like, it's breakfast time? Question mark.
Gladys just swings around, and her form is as intimidating as her manner is. And when she turns six, you see that she's holding the cleaver in one hand, and it just has just a thick black kind of red gloop at the edge of the blade. And her apron, as a furbolg, she's actually below average height for a furbolg. She's closer to kind of like the kind of 6'10", 7 foot sort of range. So she's a little bit shorter than usual. But what she kind of lacks in height, she makes up for in kind of a sinewy brawniness. Like there's muscle in her. And just kind of pulled back, but not carefully and certainly not hygienically. Her hair kind of hangs over her shoulders, but you can kind of see strands of it just kind of have fallen over and have settled and soaked into the apron. And her apron is just a smattering of chunks of whatever she's been pulverizing with the blade. Oh yes, milady. Shall I have the garçon fetch you a pail of milk?
No, we want something to eat.
She scoffs. You just hear, and she lifts the cleaver up and she slams it straight down into the butcher's block in front of her. There's a mound of sacks just sort of sitting up on top of the countertop that she's at, and next to her, just off to her left, your right, six, you see a large, thick pot, and there's just a watery grey foam bubbling up at the top of it, and here now at the back of the kitchen, that burning sour milk smell, it's actually stinging the insides of your nostrils. She kind of turns and she looks at it. Oh yeah, right. And just with her apron, she wipes the scum off the top of the pot, and it slaps onto the ground next to her. And she reaches over and she grabs a stack of. Give me a perception check.
While she watches her do this, she's gonna run her finger on the cleaver and just, because it probably tastes better than whatever's on the pot. 8.
Okay, so yeah, the bowls are definitely clean and there's nothing wrong with them. Now give me a Constitution saving throw.
You're telling me the chunks on the cleaver are not nutritious and healthy?
7.
Oh no!
You're fine for now.
For now.
She just she takes kind of just a stack of clay and wooden bowls and just slaps them back down on top of the counter next to you six. Bring them out.
Where's the garçon?
I'm looking at him.
Oh, good one. And she just picks up a bowl for her and a bowl for Eludia. The crustiest bowls.
As you just take kind of two bowls from the top of the counter, and you kind of turn back to the entranceway back into the mess hall, out of the corner of your eye, you see three large wooden boxes, and they have the head of a vulture, but out of its left eye there's a drop, like a little droplet symbol hanging from it, and it's gold, and you recognize it as the mining company's logo. Fresh supplies have arrived, but Gladys isn't using them.
Who are they for?
Who or what for?
Gestures at the boxes.
You're a nosy little twerp, aren't you? Coming into Gladys's kitchen, demanding waiters. I suppose you wanted me to clean the bowls, huh?
Only one of us refers to themselves in the third person. So which one of us really has the airs around here?
Oh.
I do beg your pardon, miss. It's just, what with me having to get up before the crack of dawn and having to prepare a substantial, nutritious meal for fine folk such as yourself, back-breaking labor that it is, having to mind the whole kitchen by myself, it does have a tendency to get on my nerves just a little bit. So I do humbly beg your pardon, miss, and if I caused you any offense, why don't I get you a little extra servant? Why doesn't Gladys just give you an extra servant? And she's grabbing the bowl from your hand.
Six. Anything coming? Anything coming from in there?
We're fine for now.
No. I clearly have to make it up to you. I've clearly upset you. And I wouldn't want you telling anybody that Miss Thistlebrick just, she doesn't have that passion for her cooking that she used to have. And Brian, allow me, please. It's an old family secret. Really adds a bit of pepper to the whole thing.
Pass. She turns and walks away.
Give me a strength saving throw.
Saving throw.
Yeah.
Is this for the bowl of gloop?
Not 20.
She's trying to pull the bowl from your hands. Like you can actually feel it. She's trying to pull it out. You hold on for dear life. And it slips from her fingers. As you head out of the kitchen, your eye still kind of on the box of the fresh delivery, you just hear and Eludia is set at a table.
Slides into the seat opposite her and just gives her the bigger of the two bowls. Fresh off the stove.
Yeah, Lydia will just take up her spoon and start breaking the crust a little bit. Because it tastes better if you break the crust and let it breathe for a minute. She found this out the hard way. She's just going to stare down into her gloop as she's stirring and appreciating the color of it. And she'll look up at Six and say, doesn't it kind of remind you of the color that guy turned? Remember? Just after he inhaled the spores, do you remember? And his skin. Six, I've never seen a skin go that color before.
Who knew there were so many shades of grey?
It was fascinating, wasn't it?
A
Poor
wondrous
guy.
affair.
Oh, maybe it'll happen again.
Soon.
Can I take a tentative sip of gloop?
You can.
Do I need to roll for it?
You can. I tell you what. Roll me a d20.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm not using these dice again. A 4.
Okay.
Oh God.
All you taste is just burn. It just tastes like burn, and it's chewy. It was a crispiness, and when your teeth just, like you said, you broke off the crispy part, that crispiness just became a very wet, sticky chew.
Mm.
Six, I don't think it's Gladys's best work today, so maybe don't eat the whole thing, but enough, just to keep us going, okay?
Mhm.
Did she have
Ta-da.
anything actually edible back there?
There's a whole box of new supplies. She's just not opening it because, she likes to wait till things expire before she cooks with them.
Should we try?
Maybe later.
Maybe now. We can bring something into the mines and have a snack later. Maybe watch when the next person gets caught by the spores and have a little picnic.
That sounds wonderful.
Brilliant. Okay. And Eludia is just going to put her hands on the table and stand up and say, you just keep Gladys occupied and I'll have a little look in the boxes, okay?
Fine.
So you're heading back to the kitchen?
Yeah.
And you're going this time, Eludia.
Yeah, I'm going to follow behind and wait until I can see Gladys being suitably distracted by Six and then slip in and try and pry open a box.
Okay. Gladys at this point is when you return to the kitchen, Six, you see that the meat cleaver is nowhere to be found, but she is standing next to a wash basin.
Do you need some help?
She looks.
I feel kind of bad with how we left things. A little tense. Not the good kind.
You're right. We did leave things in a little tense way, didn't we?
Mhm.
I tell you what, the floors in here could do with a real good scrubbing. There's a spot right there with your name on it.
Put her to work.
She looks at the spot. I don't see my name anywhere. That'd be cool.
It's always fun when the little twits go down the mine and don't come back up, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, no, it's terrible.
There's a cloth, and she gestures kind of with an eyebrow next to her, and you do see a filthy-looking towel.
And if we want to clean the floor, what should I use? Smiles angelically.
Well, you either use this one, or I rinse it out into the next serving.
Delicious. I wonder what I'd get from that. Kind of. Can I have a passive perception of 13. Can I sense whether Eludia is like getting her shit together?
Right now, you see that. I mean, you're kind of standing in the doorway. Eludia is behind you.
Mhm.
Eludia, from over Six's shoulder, you can see You can see the back kitchen, like a small little storage or cupboard. Um, you don't see the boxes quite yet.
Okay.
You could, if uh, if Gladys was significantly distracted, you could probably slip by unnoticed. But that's up to Six. And right now, has her eyes. Six is firmly in Gladys's sight, which means you are technically as well.
Okay.
Where? So the sink is like just behind us.
She's at the sink, so
Yeah.
she's about maybe 10 feet away from you. There's the counter between you, like a little kitchen island, but it's not fancy enough to be called such. It's just a thick box with a butcher's block on top of it that may or may not contain congealed
Stuff.
Yeah. I can't really say food or meat because it is neither of those two things. But you, next to her, on her left, you see the cloth. She's standing at like a large basin.
Okay. Six is gonna walk over with like her arms open wide, being like, you know what this place really could do with, and she kind of gestures to put her arm around the fertile and like turn her to face the sink. A new state of the art dishwasher.
Have they turned?
Give me a persuasion check, Six, with disadvantage because Gladys really hates you.
That means Declan really hates me. 15.
Are you saying you're looking for a job?
No, but I could find someone to help you. I already have a job in the mines, you know.
And what exactly would the dishwasher do?
Wash dishes?
Is she looking? Is she?
Question
Have their backs turned to me. Let me go. Let me go. Let me fill the role.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, you just want a job now, Louis. You want to work washing dishes. No, you do see that Six has turned Gladys's attention kind of back to the sink and the wall. You can make a stealth check with advantage.
With advantage. Yay. Oh, fuck yeah. I'll take that first roll. 23.
Nice.
Okay. You once or twice you see that Gladys kind of goes to like shrug Six's arm off, but Six is really playing into this whole thing. Like this is the synergy between the two of you. It's that without having to make eye contact, there is a connection. There has always been a connection, and Six, you know that not only has Eludia stepped into the kitchen, but she's now rummaging through the cupboards. And Eludia, you found 3 of these large crates from the Blood and Oil Vultures Mining Company, and it is filled with cured meats. There are jars of pickled vegetables and fruits. There's 4 very large, very well taken care of wheels of cheese. And you see there's another box of just raw ingredients. It looks like spices and salts and herbs and stuff.
See, now I know Eilish and Fiona in real life would gravitate towards the cheese, but Eludia and Six, they like their meat. Fuck veggies. So I'm going to pocket as many of the cured meats into my bag as I can and then back the fuck out of there.
Okay. We're going to keep this ruse going. So tell me more about the dishwasher. So
I mean, what are you into? Do you like them scrawny? You like the big buff ones? You like ladies? A bit of both? I can provide whatever you need, Gladys. I'm telling you, you will get top of the range, grade A dishwasher. Maybe with a few extras, you know.
Oh.
A few extras. What do you need? Help me help you.
I I don't want to have sex with the dishwasher.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
I just thought that's what you were implying.
I mean, no, they can like rub your feet or give you a head massage or not touch you at all. Just stand and stare at you.
That would be preferable. I'd rather just not have that happen.
You want to watch
Uh,
them do other people, maybe? Is that what you're into? I mean, no judgment
So
here.
just
like-
before the stream, I did point out that you two were playing the freaks, and here we are. Here we are. Started with the two of you. We'll probably drop loads of viewership or gain viewership. I don't know. Here you are trying to get the cook for people. You're trying to
I'm
mess
just
all
trying to make
into
her
a brothel.
happy. I need to eat something that's not gloop.
Oh, you got the gloopy meat. I'm sorry. Give me this time. Give me a persuasion check. Regular persuasion check, no disadvantage. Just because you walked back the sex thing.
14.
Okay. I really could just use a hand in the kitchen. You're all fucking pigs. All of you. All of you are fucking pigs and animals.
No, wait, what? Y-
You know, your sister's probably the worst of all of them.
Six's face just completely changes. What?
Yeah. Have you not seen the way she eats?
I'm really interested to hear this. Too.
I don't know what you mean.
I've seen ducks. I've seen ducks neck entire loaves of bread with more grace than that yolk of a sister.
Eludia is as graceful as a swan. And you should watch how you speak about
Can
her
I hear
around
this?
me.
Yeah, you can, Olivia. You can hear the whole thing.
What's around me at the moment? What's nearby?
You've just got handfuls of meat. You're sling. I haven't rolled your stealth yet. You haven't left quite.
Okay, but
You're
is
still
there
in the
anything?
cupboard.
Is there anything? What else is around me? There's spices. You said there was no the spices. I won't break the spices because then like that would make the food better.
You
Is
need
there anything
flavor,
like
yeah.
that? Is there anything personal? Is there any personal belongings of Gladys near me, or like a favorite pan or something, or clothes hanging on the wall that I can destroy? Is there anything near me?
No, there isn't. Now that you said what you're going to do with it, and I'm going to protect my things. Okay. I love how this was supposed to be the gothic horror version, and here we are fucking up the cooking. Okay. God damn it! Goddamn romance in the goddamn dungeon. This is going to be my Emily Dickinson, and here I am. Trying.
That was an oven, not a dishwasher.
Okay. Oh, sorry. You give me an investigation check, Eludia.
Let me fuck this bitch up. Don't you dare call me a duck. Oh yeah. What was it? Investigation.
Yeah.
19.
You see the cleaver.
I'm
Get me the cleaver.
gonna take the cleaver.
There's a very bloody, gross-looking cleaver, and you know, like the handle of it, like you can see the grooves where her fingers have held it for years. Like you can see that they're like where she's gripped it and squeezed it. Like yeah, this is a well-crafted, well-taken care of piece of equipment.
Her instinct is to destroy it because of what Gladys said about her, but she knows that Six would really, really like this cleaver. And she's going to try and put it in her bag, keeping as many of the chunks on it as possible.
So thoughtful.
Mhm.
Okay. Give me a stealth check to sneak back out.
Fuck.
At advantage. Sorry, at advantage.
At advantage.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
He's
Nine-
still- yeah, go on.
19 again.
Okay. You, as you slink back out, Six, a shiver runs up your back. Just something about about Gladys has irked you. And as you stare intently at her, you feel a pain in your stomach. Like like it's just an instant just pain. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Am I gonna vomit on her? 19.
Oh, no vomit.
I could intentionally.
It's not sick.
Mm.
It's a pain that comes on you. It's a familiar pain. And you feel the nerves in your body just spark, like as if every single one of them catches fire for half a second, and your bones feel hot, and they feel like they're grinding, and the pain subsides.
Yuck.
And you just hear a whistling coming from the mess hall.
I'll look into that dishwasher for you. And then she just turns and walks out.
Dishwasher. I don't need a fucking dishwasher.
Eludi's gonna run up to Six and just grab her hand. And she's gonna just drag her outside. Wait till you see, wait till you see. And she's gonna pull her kind of behind around the side of the tent and whip out the cleaver. For you, for you, for you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I
I'm
kept
gonna
the
give her-
chunks on it too. Maybe you can use them.
She's gonna give her a big hug and then be like, just stare intently at the cleaver and be like, oh yes, this will do nicely.
just don't let her see, okay?
And she quickly stashes it into her satchel.
So, for all intents purposes, the cleaver will now amount to a hand axe. You've now got a hand axe.
Yes.
6 hand axe for your itinerary. Don't get caught with it. Sueris, you you were already up. In fact, you heard those two women leave. They tried to be clever. They tried to be sneaky. They tried to be quick, but they giggled the whole way out the door. And it was kind of nice, but the laugh made you uncomfortable when it settled. It wasn't a merry giggle. And it wasn't mischievous. It was just unnerving. Like, two grown women don't giggle like that. Like, it felt a little off. You've seen those two around the camp. Brother Reeves was going to ask you to keep them an eye on them in quarantine, but thought the better of it. They, as much as you've kind of caught them, you've always caught them kind of staring at you with a little bit of a fixation. Like, it's and it's not that they're looking that they're looking at you that makes you feel uncomfortable. It's the fact that they seem to be looking into you. You've kind of felt like you were under a magnifying glass with them. That it wasn't just they were just looking at you to check you out. They were looking at you, and it kind of felt like their gaze was pulling you apart a little bit. The cold kind of unsettles you and unnerves you. And at the end of the sleeping quarters, at the end of the hut that you were in, you hear someone stirring in their bed. And as you go to kind of lean over and look, there's just a banging on the door. And you just, get up, you lazy louts. And you recognize Garjock Rocksleeve's voice, the foreman of the coop. and currently the only person in charge. Next to Gladys and Brother Reeves, he has the most seniority. And while the chief of operations is, well, you're not quite sure. Some people have said he's away. Other people are saying he was sacked. Some people are even saying he's dead. There's quite a few rumors about the fate of the chief of operations, Arbuckle Fitzmall. You you don't tend to make small talk with people unless they're in the healing hut, and that's where most of the small talk is just their screams or their cries as you try and comfort them a little bit, usually as they're having something amputated or reattached in the hopes that it stays on this time. What are you doing?
So just, yeah, I guess get ready and sort of ignore the knock on the door. I know everything's kind of very intense here, but I try not to worry about it too much and just head on down to the healing hut and see, do they need me or what do I need to do today?
As you get up and you kind of half ready yourself, it doesn't take a whole lot. You've done a little work in the mines, but when Brother Reeves kind of clocked on to the fact that you had healing, or you had medical knowledge, you found yourself more and more kind of assisting him in what he was doing. The work in the mines and on the camps means that on the daily there is someone injured, maimed, or killed, and it requires all kind of matters of knowledge. And while not a doctor, you do have some training, uh, more sort of in the hospice element of it, which Brother Reeves seems to be largely uncomfortable with. As you leave and you open the door, and again the cold just, it's been a couple of weeks since you arrived at the coop. It's still and like you've slept in drafty temples, you've slept outdoors. There's something almost unnatural about the cold here on these mountains. It seems almost spiteful. Give me a perception check, please.
4.
You go to turn back and take a look at the occupant in the cot at the end of the hut or the cabin. But as you do, you just hear, "Oi!"
Yes.
Oh, good. It speaks. You got anything to be doing today? You want to maybe do some work?
I'm heading back to the healing hut to see if they need me today.
Oh, the healing hut. Oh, yes, of course. Yes. You've quite a lot on your plate there, don't you, lad?
It's quite busy down there, yes.
No, well, you just make sure that before Lady Reagan Morat arrives, that everything is in order. I don't want to see a bandage out of place. I don't want to see a patient without untucked patient clothes on him. You hear me?
Of course, we take the best care of them we can.
Too right you do. That's the way everything ship shape before Lady Morat arrives. I won't have anybody saying that Gurdok Rocksleeve runs an unshipped, unshapely camp.
Absolutely, sir. Everything in order all the time.
That's how I likes to hear it. Yeah. Off you go then. I gotta go wake up more lazy louts.
Just walk away.
You so as you watch Gardok move down all the cabins where the employees sleep are all nestled largely together. They're at the kind of the southern end of the coop, the base camp here. Um, just across the courtyard, and the courtyard is where a lot of the socializing would kind of, I say courtyard, that makes it sound fancy. It's basically across the flat, mucky, mostly slightly wet, damp, gross earth, where there's
Lovely.
an ever burning campfire. Uh, you see the mess hall to your right. Up to your left, you see the path leading towards the mines and shafts. And across from you, you see several offices. Garjok owning the smallest of them. Arbuckle's office, which has been locked and sealed the last couple of nights and days. But next to them, kind of nestled between it, you see a large. It sticks out, and you're not quite sure why. You think maybe it's practical, it's identifiable, but it's the healing hut is it's not a complete yurt, but it's yurt like in structure. You don't know if that's practical in the sense that people can identify it straight away, or if it's just
Mm.
Brother Reeves' personal taste for um, medical structures. But it does stick out a little bit. There's a couple of wooden steps up to the door. Um, with all that said and done about accidents on the mine and stuff like that, aside from the weird sisters who were in quarantine up until last night when they joined your bunk, um, there's only one other patient currently undergoing treatment, and Brother Reeves said that he would stay with him tonight to keep an eye on him. It's the half elf man that was with the sisters, Alder Rennick. He came in contact with a violet fungi, and give me a nature check.
2. God, we're all doing great tonight.
Wow.
You hadn't heard of them before. Um, Brother Reeves was telling you that the fungi are quite a few of the caves and caverns and tunnels in the mines. Um, these shrooms have grown, and they can be deadly. Coming in contact with them. Alder's wounds at first, I mean, there wasn't anything kind of obvious about him, but on closer inspection, and you're not quite sure what caused it, but when his tunic was undone and you got to take a look at his chest, because his breathing it made a horrible rattling sound as he tried to breathe. You just saw all up along his chest, kind of seeping into his clavicle bone, the skin had turned an inhuman-like gray. It wasn't even like stone. It was like a gray rot. And you could hear like the laboring in his chest as he struggled to fill his lungs with air. And Reeves went on to explain that the fungi, on touch, it's necrotic, but he believes that Alder Rennick inhaled some of the spores. And when you carried out your inspection alongside Reeves, you discovered that that it could be the only thing, because there was no obvious lesions on the skin. So he clearly inhaled the spores, and those spores were now eating his lungs and turning his bone to sponge.
Ugh.
Whether he survives and Reeves has administered some healing, Brother Reeves wasn't certain whether he would make it out alive or not. But you open the door and it's silence inside, except the whispered, struggling breaths of Alder Rennick. You don't hear anybody else. Directly in front of you, you see the half-elf wrapped in blankets on a cot. You don't see Brother Reeves.
So I'll just give a soft little hello.
I don't know why I was about to eat a piece of Yorkie there. I'll have to wait.
You
Sorry,
bring
I'm talking
me a
to
dead
you.
man.
Have a second.
He's dead now. Now I can eat my Yorkie.
Fine, just relax. Oh god damn it. There's no response.
Okay, so I'll just go in and sort of up to Alder and just, good morning, how are we feeling? And give him sort of a once over, see if he's improved or if it's getting worse.
As you approach, you just see his left hand, just some of the fingers wiggle towards you. He kind of reaches, he's trying to reach you a little bit. And you can just hear coming from him. His chest is barely lifting. Like the blankets are like he's not weighted down with duck feathered sheets or anything like that. It's just a slip of a sheet over him. Any more weight, and Reeves was afraid it would just cause his chest to collapse in on himself. Give me a medicine check.
With a different die this time. 18.
Last night, Alder appeared. A fever came upon him, and Reeves. Hence, why Reeves said he would stay with him just to make sure that he made it through the night. The fever seems to have broken. There's a little. I can't say color to him, but there's a little less gray.
Okay. Was there any discussion of like if he is contagious?
No, he's not. Again, Garjuk actually just wanted to kill him outright. It was just a case of it spare him the death. Like you've seen patients have come in with necrotic wounds. You'd never really known. Like it literally just looked like an acid burn, but worse. And having inhaled them, and with the state of his chest, Garjuk just assumed the man was as good as dead. Reeves clearly didn't want to give up on him, and hence again the quarantining of the other two and making sure of it. You and Reeves displayed no symptoms after the first 24 hours of being in contact with him, and it's been 2 days. So
Okay.
if it is contagious, well, it's sitting in your system.
Too late now anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reach out and sort of touch his fingers with my own, and as I do, can I cast Lay on Hands?
Yes, you can.
1d10 per level. Sorry. Oops. So that's 10.
You just kind of taking kind of his middle finger and his index finger in your hand. You just kind of give them kind of a reassuring, kind of affirming squeeze.
Yeah.
And he's looking directly up at you, and you just see tears in his eyes. And you've been around death a lot. It doesn't frighten you, it doesn't scare you, and as kind of this pale light just pulses from you, and you feel your own heartbeat, you feel the pulse just rush through your body like a wave. That light connects with him, and then you feel his pulse, and it's weaker, it's tired, and then it just gets a little bit stronger, and you see him kind of squeeze his face, like he clenches his jaw and his eyes tight, and his face goes, it's very wrinkled, and you just see kind of tears just fall from the sides of his face, and his breathing just gets a little bit better. You should have let me die.
Everyone has a time. If you can be saved, then you should be.
I'm worth more to them if I had just died.
You don't owe them your life.
Not the company. My
Who are you
wife,
speaking of?
my
Your wife. Your
children.
wife, your family would want you alive.
You feel his grasp, just kind of like he doesn't pull away. He doesn't have the strength, but he lets go. His hand has gone limp in yours.
Shh, rest now. Don't speak, just heal.
He doesn't say anything.
Can I just look around the hut for, I don't know, signs of life for anybody else or notes
Yeah,
about
you
why it's empty?
here in the like you were kind of in the just like the main like the lobby of the you're in the main part of it. Brother Reeves has a small office and kind of a cot in the back, and again it's just through an open passageway, and even just kind of peering down into that, you don't see him. He's not at his desk. He's not at the medicine table, and he doesn't appear to be in his cot. You can give me an investigation check. And while you're doing that, I'm definitely going to eat this piece of Yorkie.
Should I take a long time to answer you?
Oh, yes, please take a card.
So I roll
What did you roll? What did you roll?
a 17 plus
Okay, I got it.
Take your time. Take your time.
17.
Thank you. Oh, god damn it. Okay.
Sorry,
Is it a
start over.
regular
I rolled.
Regular Yorkie, or is it the one with fruit and nut, Declan?
Oh, I don't hate myself. It's a regular Yorkie.
Oh, boring.
Boring. Oh, sorry, with your big
Maybe it's
fancy
fruit
Dublin
and not Yorkie. Ugh.
knobs. Knobs too.
Come on, T and Amber, back me up.
Yeah, chat. Back me up. No, a plain old Yorkie. No notions of yourself.
Love a bit of
I,
fruit
I
and
don't
nut.
I don't like Yorkies.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right, that's
well,
a whole
Grace
nother
is gone.
conversation.
Okay, it's no longer saving Grace. It's called murdering Grace.
Try.
Yeah, try murder Grace. um, a couple of things, Suarez. It's that weird. You have a tendency to notice things that it just there's a couple of things that don't sit with you straight away, and it's one of those things that you learned having to sit and be patient with people as they wait to take their final breath, sitting and waiting and watching and looking at anything as time passes. And you spot from here, you spot three things. Down the passageway, just behind Reeves' desk, next to his cot, is the medicine cabinet. It's a tall, slender black oak cabinet with glass paneling. Everything: potions, poultices, herbs, bandages, utensils, all of it is gone.
Great.
Second thing you notice: you didn't catch it when you first came in. You did, but you kind of maybe put it off as, oh, it's a bit of dust or a bit of dirt that's been blown in with you. There is a layer on like you see it every now and again. There's a couple of spots of it. There's coal dust in the hut.
Okay.
And as you follow down into Reeves' office, and you rummage through the cabinet just to see what supplies are there. And a batch of supplies only arrived 2 days ago. They arrived ahead of Lady Reagan Moritz' appointment. It was the messenger had kind of said word that they had gone through, and Morit and her team were stopping to rest. You helped order this stuff. You helped stack it. You helped put it together. There was enough here. There was enough here to last a couple of weeks, and even make more stuff if you had to, and forage for a few bits and pieces. Reeves had shown you a little bit. It's all of it is gone. There's nothing here belonging to Reeves that's missing. And as you kind of dart and your eye turns and looks at everything around you, under your foot, just you kind of end up kind of cocking your head slightly to the right, and you see just a small scrap of paper folded, and it seems to have fallen down into a little crack between the floorboards, and there's just a little corner of it peeking up.
Well, I have to look at it.
No, you don't. You just leave. You just leave right now. Nothing bad's gonna
Okay,
happen.
bye.
Just leave.
I don't care about your stupid notes.
That's private. I'm not going to read that. That's rude. You kind of pluck the scrap of paper, and it's just a folded piece of paper, but like it's dirty, like it's stained, and as you open it outwards, the entire inside is scratched black with just a pen, and it looks very weird. And
It's not like something is. It's not like something scratched out. It's just somebody like scratched all over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you look at it and you kind of hold it up, as you kind of lift it up overhead, one thing and only one thing occurs to you. It looks like an eye.
Spooky. I'm just gonna tuck that in a pocket. And then I guess checking sort of on Alder one more time to make sure he's relatively stable. I am going to have to go admit that all the supplies are missing.
Okay. You head outside, and across from you, down near the mess hall, you see Garjok storming in, and just off to the right of it, kind of again standing there, the two of them. You see those two girls, those two women, and they're cackling about something. You can hear it, and it's a if a laughter was made of oil, it clogs your ears, like it's just uncomfortable.
Rude.
And you have to go and report this to Garjok.
Our laughs
The
aren't that
laughter.
bad.
Point proven.
No, Eludia's laugh is very pretty compared to my cackle.
It's like the tinkling of a
Yeah.
piano.
Even
Whereas I was like,
worse.
as it falls on someone. As you do, as you make your way to the mess hall, and you try and avoid the gaze of Six and Eludia, Grace, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Thrown right in there.
Right? 13.
You You wake up and you hear Garjok shouting. Get up. For fuck's sake, get up, you layabouts. We're not paying you to sleep.
Grace is just gonna open an eye and just like lurch upright and swing their leg over and be like, yeah.
When you do this, Grace, you see that like the cabin you're in, uh, it's empty, and the smell of dirt and sweat and grime and the smell of the oil burning in the lanterns. It's just you're still not used to it. You it's not that you miss the finer things, but even the cot feels like it's even after sitting up into it, you can feel the impression of the lats in your back.
Grace is just going to put a hand over her chest for a second before getting up and getting dressed as quickly as possible, trying to retain as much heat.
Grabbing your belongings, grabbing your gear, grabbing your scimitar, and uh, readying yourself. You catch the light coming from outside through the windows, and the wind is just rattling and banging against the windows, and it's pitch dark outside. You just see the fire in the courtyard just whipping back and forth, and you can hear the howl of gales. There's a bit of laughter and a bit of music coming, but there's no time to really focus on it because you're trying to avoid the cold, and you suck the air through your teeth as you reach for the door handle. And just as you pull it open, Garjok is standing there in front of you.
I'm up.
Ah, she's up. She deigns to grace us with her presence, huh? Lady Stormfield up and about. Oh, thank ye, your majesty.
You're welcome, Garjok.
There's a new lot of cave pups, fresh off the recruitment drive, and who better to take them down into the chokehold than Grace Stormfield, huh? Mightiest guard we've ever seen.
So generous.
If you could bring back at least one of them fucking alive, Grace, that'd be great.
Whether they come back alive is not up to me. You know this.
Except that's what we're fucking paying you for.
Where are they?
They're waiting for you outside the mouth. Should we have the
Okay.
carriage drawn over, or?
No, my legs work just fine. Thank you.
He does a half a curtsy, and he kind of grabs the edges of his coat and he holds them out like they were a petticoat, and he kind of flops himself down, and when he does, God, the stink of drink off of him and sweat. You kind of long for the smell inside the cabin. It was more pleasant than him. Garjok is boorish, he's lazy, he is incompetent, and he is absurdly full of his own self-importance. And you catch yourself wondering for a moment all the names that Thane would have come up with for him.
I start to just kind of smirk a little bit and stop and suck the air through my teeth, like disgustedly, and walk off towards the mouth of the cave.
On this second sharp intake of breath, you feel, just for a moment, almost something catch the back of your throat. Something scratching. But you shake it off. And you head up towards the trail, up towards the west, and towards the shafts and the mouths, and the chokehold. It's one of the newer mines that have started to be dug and explored and excavated. But of all 6 open that are currently being explored and dug out, the chokehold seems to be the most promising. A lot of the miners are coming out with twice the other miners and their loads and what they're hauling, and you haven't encountered anything too bad here. But it's a fair haul uphill towards the mines. But as you make your way up, and you look back, and you can see the camp, you can see the coop below, and the light of the campfire kind of dwindling. Your skin prickles. It's that weird sensation of electricity. It just, you're not sitting comfortably in yourself, and all of a sudden you get that sensation of there being eyes on you.
I'm just going to roll my shoulders and try to shake it off as I try to refocus on what I'm here to do.
You, your shoulders roll back, and there's an audible click, and it's a satisfying click as you feel like the joints just kind of go back and out, and just the air squeezed out of them, and you walk forward, and the chokehold is down the other side of this trail and this embankment. And as you wander down it, and it's a winding road, you do see kind of 2 lamps at the very bottom of the base, signifying the entrance to the mine. And there's been no tracks laid to haul the carts out. Anything dug out of here has been carried on foot, on back out of here by the miners. You don't see anybody waiting below.
That son of a bitch. Hello?
Your voice just reverberates around the entrance and the pit, and it disappears down the mouth of the cave. And as far as the light from the lamps extends below, your voice, hello, and the light seems to just get swallowed by the darkness.
Well, I'm not going to go all the way down there just to come back up. So Grace just turns around to try and find Garjok to see where the fuck these recruits are.
You turn back. You turn straight back. And you find yourself swallowed in darkness. And directly in front of you, you see the cracked, jagged rim of the mouth of a cave and 2 flickering lights.
Oh. Grace takes a deep breath and starts heading towards the mouth of the cave.
Grace. And a voice calls from deep below.
Yes.
You have work to do.
What's the name?
Grace. My sweet Grace, face me.
Grace is going to turn very hesitantly, taking a deep breath to steel themselves so they know who's going to be there.
You turn and you feel and you hear underfoot the crunching of gravel and dirt and muck all mashed together. And there's a sense of dread that seems to just crawl through you, almost as if it's trying to escape what's coming. And you turn, and there in the dark below, you see Thane Greyline.
What's my job to do?
Wake up. You've already found it.
Wake up?
Grace.
Same.
I'll always be with you. And you just feel a stabbing pain in your chest. And you are yanked through the dark. And you just feel the cold claw and scratch and pull at you. And your eyes, you just feel the world just spinning around you. And your eyes come to focus. And you sit up in your cot. And you feel the cold just press on you, and you feel the sweat drip down your back, and your limbs bound and twisted in the blankets and the sheets, which are soaked. And in your hand, a rotten piece of paper.
I'm going to open my fingers and try and see if there's anything on this piece of paper.
As you unfurl it, and you see like the dirt just sticks and seems to seep under your fingernails. And as you unfurl it and you see the letters, they don't make a lot of sense. The words don't make a lot of sense, but there's a name. And we'll take our intermission there.
Ooh.
Okay,
You
so
bastard.
grab a drink, hydrate, stretch, get up and go for a walk. Hopefully chat. All the tech stuff got sorted. Sorry about that start. We're new. And thanks Louise, Louise who's running. We're not new. We're here for ages, but Louise is doing for Saving Grace. So Louise, thank you so much for all your help.
Thank you,
and for running
Louise.
this so
Thanks,
far.
Lou.
Thanks.
We will see you all in 10 minutes. There's Louise.
Woo.
we good? We're good. We're good. Thanks, Louise. Thank you. The
We
real
are
horror is knowing whether we're
professional.
live or not.
Very good.
Hopefully you got a chance to get up and stretch and grab a drink. And a special shout out to Fiona for that creepy video about phobias.
A+.
It's
Maximum
Thanks.
creep.
Maximum creep.
We left with Grace having just woken up from a waking nightmare, a dream. Just ever since you'd fled Tezrab 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago now, the days, the nights, it's all blurring for you, Grace. It's that weird thing of not knowing what day it is, let alone the week or the month. And so much of it has just been kind of left behind that you have a little bit of sorry, weird thing there. I think you're a ghost now, Fiona. Are you?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's odd. That's very odd.
Spooky.
That's true. Maybe it's the past or the future. Maybe time is just colliding. It's very strange. But after you fled Tezrab, the nightmares just got worse. And there's always the voice, and there's always a name, and there's always Thane. You stare down at your hand, and the paper is gone.
I'm just going to look kind of on the floor to see if I magically dropped it somehow.
There's nothing under your cot. You see your boots and the worn leather rucksack that you came here with, and what few belongings you have left on your person stored inside it.
I'm just going to get dressed again, trying to reserve as much heat as possible.
You try and kind of brace yourself against it a little bit, and outside you just hear Garjok kind of barking once again. He's banging on doors, calling for you to get up, and out of the corner of your eye, kind of looking out the window, you can see that there's a small queue kind of beginning to form for the mess hall.
I'm going to head towards the door, waiting until he gets to mine.
You hear his heavy footsteps approaching. And then there's just the banging on the door, and you can see the frame and the door itself actually rattling.
On the second knock, I'm just going to fling the door open and step through.
As you kind of swing the door right open, and his hand is there, and he kind of goes to kind of rap on it, he jumps back a little bit. Stonefield, you look like fucking shit. Just as you pass by him.
Like, you can speak.
Touche, Grace, touche. You going down the chokeholds today?
If that's where I'm needed, yeah, but I'd like to get some breakfast first.
Of course, yeah, you gotta muster all your strength after all. You've been promoted, gotta put that back into use.
Absolutely, lucky me.
And he kind of raises an eyebrow. yeah, you saunter off and sorry, you walk off. You don't saunter off, you walk off. But you hear and feel, yeah, his eyes linger and your skin crawls a little bit.
I'm going to grimace a little bit and just kind of shiver as I walk away from him.
When you as you head into the mess hall, you set inside. There's a couple of tables are occupied, and you recognize a few faces. Uh, you'd done you'd done guard duty for a couple of the groups, a couple of the teams that were going in and down, but you don't see anybody from Team 11. The you haven't heard any word of Alder at all since, and it's been 2 days since you dragged him out of the chokehold. But you haven't heard whether he's alive or dead. And as you walk in, you can hear like a few people are whispering and murmuring as you kind of step into the mess hall. You see an empty table kind of down at the far end.
I'm going to beeline for some food on that table.
Roll a d20 for me.
Mhm.
Just this is the d20 for the nutritiousness of what's left.
Alrighty. Ooh, 8.
It's you have the slop that's left. You have the clearest bowl of whatever this is.
No crust.
There's no crust. No, that's already been chewed and pre-chewed. Still being chewed actually.
Gross.
As you kind of scoop a ladle full of this into a bowl, you just see a couple of lumps of like gray blood sausage sitting in a handful of like mucusy oats.
Oh, Jesus. Thanks, Declan. The real horror.
Yeah, your stomach turns a little bit, and you just remember Alder's skin.
I'm just gonna grab the bowl and take it to the seat. That's all there is to eat, so don't have much of a choice.
As you make your way to the empty table, give me a perception check.
Mhm. 6.
Okay, roll a d4.
3.
Okay. You. Oh god! Of course, it'd have to be this one. So you kind of move through the crowd in the mess hall, and everybody. You just see people kind of half pushing the breakfast around the bowl. People actually trying to scrape some of the residual stuff from the bowl into it, just to maybe add a bit of flavor or sustenance or change the taste of it a little bit. And as you kind of sit at the table and people kind of turn to kind of give you the look or just give you kind of an eye, you catch the end of a whisper, and you just hear a small Air Ganassi woman whispering to an Earth Ganassi at her side, and you just hear, no, seriously, I saw them. I literally, I wanted to immediately plunge my eyes into the campfire and just hope that the cinders would burn the image from my eyeballs as much as it would my brain. I'm telling you, I saw Garjok on top of Gladys. Nude. No, no. That's not the oats making you feel sick, Ailey. That's that image. And if I had to see it, you have to imagine it. And the two of them just start kind of like having a chuckle to themselves as you've overheard a rumor about Gardrock Rocksleeve shacking up with Gladys Thistlebrick, the cook.
With that, I'm going to freeze with a spoon halfway up to my mouth and just swallow that little bit of bile that's tried to come up. And I start eating the food.
You take a mouthful. You literally just slurp the contents off the spoon, Grace, and Suarez, as you bustle in, or as you head towards the mess hall, you see Garjok just standing there, and Eludia and Six, you hear your names bellowed. Hey, twats!
That's not our names, excuse you.
Six looks over her shoulder
Uh,
and then at Eludia.
Well, it's obviously not us.
Mm-mm.
No,
Twats?
it
Twats,
very obviously is. So if the two of you ladies are finished with your little sewing circle, perhaps you want to come inside so you can be briefed on whereabouts you two are going today. If you, of course, deign to take yourselves away from whatever it is the two of you are ladying.
I'm sure nothing would give us more pleasure. You know exactly what to say, don't you? Doesn't he, Six?
Mm-hmm.
I do, yeah, because I'm in charge here.
Mm-hmm.
He's in charge, Six. He's in charge. Did you know that? Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. You're doing a great job, Garja. Keep up the good work.
Question mark.
He give me a deception check.
Who?
Lydia.
Me.
Yes, because it was kind of hard not to, be overcome.
Woo! I'm so good at being bad. I got a 19.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
He looks absolutely and totally. Yeah, he took that as the full blown compliment that it was. Did not
Yep.
get a hint of sarcasm or snark from it at all. Suarez, you got the worm this morning, right? You look like a chap that's had an eventful day so far.
If I could have a minute of your time, maybe privately, sir.
Is he
I've run
dead
into a
yet?
small. He's doing quite well, thank you. I've just run
Oh.
into a small hiccup. We'll say.
Well,
If
you
we could
can leave that
just.
to Reeves. I'm sure whatever hiccups that Alder has now, you can sort out. We've got to go in, and we're
There,
brief.
do you know where Reeves is?
Hiccups can kill you, you know.
You know what? And he just walks inside.
Sir, really, I insist. Just 5 minutes.
You can talk to me afterwards, Suarez. Afterwards, all right. I'll give you 5 minutes afterwards.
Okay.
I've important matters to do. With Arbuckle gone, they needed someone in charge, and head office felt that I was the most suitable. And he swaddles on into the mess hall. You hear him, and Grace, you see Garjok step in, and Garjok is he's a delightful character. As a as a dwarf, and an aged one at that. Um, he talks a big game. You're pretty sure he doesn't understand half the words in his mouth, and he can spell even less than that. Uh, he seems to know his way around the mines and the mountains, and most people at the camp have kind of gleaned that's the only reason he's been kept on. It isn't for his demeanor. It isn't for his ability to rally a team. He's not an organized man in the slightest. It's simply his knowledge of the area, and that's all that's kept him here. There was a rumor, and a couple of nights ago, just before Arbuckle's departure was confirmed, there was a rumor that uh, when Garjok was forced to retire, that in a fit of rage he got absolutely blind drunk, and he stole blasting jelly and blasting powder from storage, but blacked out before he had a chance to set it off. He also can't remember where it's buried.
Good for him.
Nice.
He's about 4'4", and he is quite a
How tall is Gladys?
No.
just
Ain't
under
you the
7
picture?
just under 7 foot. Just
Thank
under
you.
7.
Oh.
And he is.
No, I just
he's-
had a horrible image of like those bowls in like Western themed bars that you have to try and hold on to.
So this might need to go. We're past the watershed. We're past the watershed. It's fine. We're past the watershed. We're fine. We're past the watershed.
I'll just
Mhm.
mute my microphone before I say it.
You. Sorry, I've completely lost where I am now because I can't get that image out of my head. Thank you.
You made it.
I didn't. I didn't do the bull thing. Garjok's physical description got it. About 4'4". As stocky as he is, he's quite sturdy, and you get the impression that probably in his prime he would have been a rather muscular, well-built, well-toned fella. But age and a piss-poor fucking diet of whatever the fuck Gladys cooks and whatever the fuck he can get his hands on to drink has really taken its toll on his physique. He's a complete and total slob in terms of his appearance. His clothes are always unkept. His uniform is always unkept. His beard is just a tangle of knots, and he has a tarnished bull ring in his nose, just kind of sitting in it. I don't get that, but clearly there's a joke that I'm not getting that I will just pretend I
The
don't
bull
know.
image, and you're giving him a bull
Oh.
ring.
God damn it.
You walked into that one.
His left
So did
ear.
Garjok.
Oh.
His left ear is completely and totally mangled looking. It's like if cauliflower ear had been shredded. It looks like
Julienne.
Yes, Julian.
Yum.
He's been in a few fights by the looks of it. Grace, just as you're trying to bury that horrendous image of Garjok and Gladys, he comes storming in, and immediately he starts briefing the teams on what guard is on which team, and you hear your name called, and just as they come into the room, you hear Six, Cinderal, and Suers are team 7 with Eludia, Cinderal as guard. You were to go to the Bannon Cave.
Ooh, the
And
Bannon Cave 6?
he
Ooh, maybe
points
more fungus?
straight at you, Grace, and the others are shuffled in your direction. Suris, whatever it is, look, I'll catch up with Reeves.
I don't know if that's possible, sir, which is what I'm trying to tell you.
For fuck's sake. What?
would you like to step aside, or with the visit coming, I just don't want to cause any issues.
And you like his eyes just let it go wide. Right, Jar. Right. You are source. And he literally just takes a step outside the door.
So I follow him out. So
What
I
is
I visited. I visited Reeves is missing, and so are all of the medical supplies. Everything that arrived 2 days ago is gone. Everything's gone.
You're fucking with me, lad. You're fucking like go on.
No,
Would you just fuck off inside? Go on. You're no.
Sir,
No,
really,
no,
you can come with me and look. It's everything's gone, sir. Everything's gone.
What do you mean everything is gone? What the fuck are you on about? Like that?
Everything that was there is now not there. It's gone, including Reeves.
So find him.
Where would he be?
And he kind of looks around. The hut.
He's not in. I looked in and around the hut. He's not, sir. Look, I don't know where he is, but I do know that he is missing, and the medical supplies are missing. And I'm thinking maybe those two things are a little bit connected. And this is just very bad timing for you with the visit coming up. So I just wanted to know how you would like to handle this situation.
The second you say this is a very bad situation for you, you see his entire demeanor shift. And his forehead, it just folds as you just see kind of froth at his mouth, and it catches in his beard, and he reaches out for you. Okay, nat 20. Suarez, he grabs you by the throat and he lifts you up. You're not a foot off the ground, but you feel like the heat from his hand, and he's not clenching it around your neck. Did you just fucking threaten me?
No, I'm concerned.
No.
Concerned for you, sir.
You hear me? You hear me here now? It's not my fucking head that's gonna roll when Morat gets here. You hear me, lad? So you find that fucking knife here. And the fucking supplies. Or it's on you.
Of course, of course, sir.
And he fixes his shirt. And he walks off.
Am I to do that instead of going to the mines today? Just looking to clarify, sir.
He doesn't say anything. Typical middle management.
Instructions unclear.
You watch him leave. Like he walks towards the healing hut.
Oh, he's going towards the healing hut.
Yeah.
I might go to the mines.
For the crack.
Eludia and Six, you were pointed in the direction of Grace. She was the lady in the bunk. She was the lady that was with Alder. She was the lady that dragged him out of the mines.
Eludia's gonna. Where are we? Are we in the kitchen?
Mess hall.
The mess hall. Yeah, Eludia's gonna hop up on one of the tables and she's gonna pull out a little comb from her pocket and just start. Well, I'm brushing my long hair. She's all shaven around the side and the back. She just has like a shock of grey hair at the top. She's gonna comb it through, and she's gonna just gesture at Six to come over. Does she come over? And she's gonna kind of pull her like in between her legs with her back to her. She's gonna start combing her hair too and look over at Grace and just say, "Oh, you were there yesterday, weren't you? You saw him with the fungus? You got close, didn't you? What did it look like?
What did what look like?
Him, the man. After he inhaled it, we didn't get that close, but it looked
didn't-
amazing.
He didn't even touch it. And look at him, he's almost dead.
And he was so grey. He was nearly the colour of me. It was nearly beautiful, wasn't it, Six?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there has to be some mistake about the teams today. There really has to be.
Was he breathing when you were bringing him out? Was it ragged? Did you look in his eyes?
His eyes were closed in pain. Do you get some sort of gratification from hearing these details?
Oh no, I just
Oh no.
no, we don't. No, just
You see, she nodded though.
That was
I,
a
I, I was
mistake.
yanking her hair with the comb.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Six. I'm sorry. No, it's just simply myself and my cousin. We don't want the same thing to befall any of us. So just some warning signs would be appreciated in case it happens to anyone else.
If
We,
if you see warning signs, it's too late. It's already started happening to you.
oh, noted.
But what does it look like? Does it smell?
There's spores. Spores are you can't see them, so they
Where did-
it
where
might have a smell.
Where does it come from?
Spores come from mushrooms.
What do
Oh,
the mushrooms
Six.
look like?
Six, you like them? You like mushrooms? Tell her more. Tell her all about the mushrooms.
I can't give you any details. I didn't take a sketch of these mushrooms, unfortunately.
Oh,
Hmm,
that's a shame.
that's a big shame. Maybe we'll come across them. Hopefully,
Mhm.
maybe Six. Yeah, we
Oh,
might.
hopefully you two will. Yeah, for sure.
Grace, was it? Eludia. She's gonna hold her hand out for a shake. Eludia, nice to
And I'm
meet
just gonna like pat it.
you. This is Six, isn't she beautiful?
Yes.
Thanks.
And you, you've been working here how long?
For a while now.
And apart from the fungus, what else can we look for? Watch out for?
Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, there's monsters in the caves.
Ooh, what kind?
Monsters in the mines, like monsters. I don't know. They don't really announce themselves when they arrive.
Do the
But they can-
miners die often?
Mhm.
Mm.
Well, yes.
Oh, shame. A shame, Six.
Mhm.
Mm.
Sueris, you've unfortunately come back in, and as you were coming in, a lot of the other tables were clearing out, and because a lot of the places in the mess hall is empty and there's only a few stragglers, there is a very upset-looking Earth Ganassi still sat at the table with a look of absolute horror on her face, but down near the back where you were directed to by Garjok, you see the women talking to that lady who came out of the cave with Alder. She was completely and totally, despite being quarantined, you saw no signs of her being affected by the spores or the necrotic damage. You see, she seems to be. No, what's the definition where two people are in deep conversation and a third person is sitting there hoping that the earth would open up and swallow them whole?
I'm being
No, no.
talked at.
Yeah.
I'm being talked
Yes,
at.
she's being talked
We're
at.
all making friends, Grace. We're all making friends.
Best friends.
Ugh.
Choice words.
I just sort of steel myself mentally and prepare for this and quietly join the group in attempt
Make
to
a roll
bring
for it. Make a roll
no
for it.
extra attention to myself.
Yeah, you hesitantly approach the group, and Grace, you see that our Corcoran boy, man, young man, kind of step up, and he was there with the healer when you brought Alder in, and he seems like a competent young fella, like strangely. There's just he doesn't seem like he's his age. Like he seems, it's that old kind of saying of
Wise
an
young
old head.
years.
Yes, yeah, an old head on young shoulders. And he kind of stands at the fringe of the table, kind of not really wanting to engage Eludia or Six. And both Eludia and Six, you see him.
Perfectly fine. I'm just gonna stand up really quickly and ask how's Alder? Is he okay? Is he still alive?
Is he dead yet?
What does he look like?
Still alive and improving, actually. So
Oh,
That's a relief. What?
oh, a relief. Yeah, it's a relief.
Grace is just going to like stare daggers at the pair of them.
Six is just staring right back at her,
Not blinking.
and her eyes are exceptionally big.
What is wrong with you?
Excuse me?
You
Nothing.
heard me.
There's
We're
nothing
fine,
wrong
thank
with her.
you.
You are you're reveling in somebody dying.
No, we're not. We simply were asking after the young man.
What's his name then?
Alder.
Because all you were asking about was the spores, what color he was, what color were the mushrooms, how did he look?
She doesn't sound like that.
I don't sound like that.
Oh yes, you do.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
The comb is going to snap in Eludia's hand
Oh.
right now.
Oh, your comb. Oh, that's a pity.
I know. Six.
Maybe we can make you one out of mushrooms.
Six outside now. Now. And Ludia's going to get up and just storm outside.
Six's mace is in her hand. She follows Eludia out.
Can you believe her?
No,
Can you believe her?
I don't know what she's talking about.
Eludia and Six, as ye head towards the exit of the mess hall out into the courtyard, there's just one of those long moments just as you move towards the exit, and Eludia, you are just twisting up with anger, and just you don't like when the focus is pushed back on you. You don't like when people get under your skin, and as much as it pains you to admit it, Grace's nails are ticking away at his scab, and you can hear Six whispering in your ear, and that usually calms you, but the whispers are like nails, and it's just aggravating you further, and you dare not look back at her, and just as the urge to do so just becomes like an overflow, and you want to spit something at her, a word or just venom, you're not quite sure. All of you just hear a horn blowing, and you hear Garjok shouting, "Raid! It's a morning raid! Get weapons!" And he rushes to open, he bursts through the door, and Gladys emerges. "My fucking cleaver's gone." And you hear people rushing and running around and roaring and shouting at each other as they arm themselves. And all of you hear just the heckling laughter and snide roars and cheeky shouts and screams. And as you, Eludia and Six, rush past Garjok, who's going to defend the mess hall from inside, you emerge out into the camp, and coming down the trail from the mountains and coming over the embankment just below that, you see a raiding party of goblins, and there's about 18 of them, and 4 large dire wolves. And just as Sueris and Grace emerge behind you, you just see something lobbed overhead, and it strikes the corner of the kitchen, and there's a smashing sound of glass, and the entire roof is engulfed in a black and yellow flame, and it burns, and it's an acrid smell, and you just hear chattering and laughter and emerging amongst the band of goblins that are raiding, and the goblins are just scattering, and there's a few of them. They've already dragged down that Aragonasi woman, and she's screaming for help to get them off of her as they stab and scratch at her. You just see emerging from them a rather scrawny, sharp-toothed goblin woman. Like a beverage, and she smiles at the 4 of you. You look like you'll smell really nice. And she lobs the glass bottle towards the 4 of you. And we will leave episode 1 of The Dark Below.
No!
Ooh.
I want to kill something!
They put me in a foul mood.
Grace is not up for this shit right now.
As
it on.
you thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for the very, very first episode of Saving Grace. Really, you enjoy it. Hope you've had. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. This is going to be a sort of poem-like structure, in that there will be so many episodes in this adventure, and it'll tie off, and we will come back to Grace in another installment later on. But we will be back in 2 weeks' time for episode 2, Skin and Bone. And if you want to stick around, we're going to be jumping in. We're going to be raiding another group of D&D players in a moment. But before that, I just want to say thank you to Amber, Eilish, and Fiona, as always, for their phenomenal, phenomenal performances. It's a pleasure to always DM for you. And another welcome and a big thank you to Tendai, who is, after joining us here at D8 Dungeon, and is bringing some amazing energy. Stormfield.
Yeah! I love
Special
her.
shout out
Fiona
to-
loves her. Elodie hates her.
The feeling is mutual, boo.
I hate all of you.
We
A
know.
special thank you to Louise, who was running the behind the scenes of this. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Um,
Louise.
And a couple of things just to mention before we go and we jump into another stream. We are D8 Dungeon, a group of Irish TTRPGers, and we are running several shows now. 3. We're running 3. That's several.
Several.
More than one.
Every second Friday, we have a brand new episode of our podcast called Romancing the Dungeon, which Saving Grace is inspired from. It's the follow-on of an NPC character, now a PC character, thanks to Tendai. So if you are interested in what would D&D be like if it was a rom-com with a lot of tragedy,
A
check
lot.
that out.
A lot
We're
of
into our second- we're into our second season. This Sunday and every second Sunday after that, we have a completely different story called Rise of the Forsaken here on Twitch, and about a group of siblings who find their entire world and home ripped away from them, and are now left to ponder their existence and what it means when you were raised by death, only to be abandoned by her in your darkest hour.
Rude.
It's great. It's great crack. Love that one.
Sounds very
we have-
lighthearted.
It's very lighthearted. It's like all my stuff. It's just lighthearted. It's a lot of chunks, and a lot of this stuff.
Nice.
Next Friday, I believe, is the 8th of April, and it is date night, D8 night, and we would love if you would join us. We play games. I think we're on about doing a couple of visual novels or a couple of choose your own adventures.
He was like, we are?
Yeah. we're doing something along those lines. So if you'd like to get involved in that, you'd like to join us, you'd like to have a laugh, and it's just a super casual stream where we hang out, we tell stories, we have a laugh. Last time we were doing some. We were on Jackbox. I don't know what Eilish said. It was very high pitched. I didn't hear any of it. It was giving me Ludia vibes. We come on and check us out over on Discord. We have a wonderful community of daters over there. It's one of my favorite spots on the internet. If you'd like to find out more about what we do, check us out on social media at D8 Dungeon. We have a link. I am putting Louise through her paces with these codes on Twitch. If you are an avid TTRPGer, if you are a DM in the making, experienced DM, if you're a player, if you want to be a player, then you need to check out the wonderful accessories from the Rook and the Raven, a group that creates some wonderful journals and notebooks that help you keep track of your campaigns, your player notes, all those things. Completely customizable. And if you're in Ireland or Europe, they're now shipping. They're now shipping from Ireland, so you'll get yours a lot quicker. So if you head over to the Rook and the Raven and you use the code D8 Dungeon, you will get a discount on your order, and we get a portion of those profits, which goes to helping us with our work and what we're hoping to release over the next couple of weeks and months. We also have a Patreon that you can check out with some sweet rewards that are mostly linked to just Romancing the Dungeon at the moment, but we're expanding. You'll have options. Everyone loves a good option. Except Gladys. Gladys only serves blood pudding and oats in curd.
I'm Barjok.
No.
Why do you think she calls it blood pudding? The real horror, everybody.
Done for the day.
We are back in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope you've had a blast. And then once again, thank you too for my phenomenal role players. We will see you in 2 weeks' time for Saving Grace episode 2, and I hope you check out the other stuff that we do. And we are gonna go raid, so stick around. Let's stick around and let's go support some other amazing streamers.
Yay!
Thanks.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.